don't think I've ever felt that my career was necessarily impacted by being a woman. I think it's been impacted by being the firstborn, by being born into a family that was involved in politics, involved in their community. I don't know that it was necessarily about my gender, more so as it was those two issues, those two factors that brought me to where I am today. I didn't come with, kind of a blank slate. I mean, my father was in politics for many, many years. My last name was very well known, but I had never thought about being involved in politics. I always knew I should be involved in my community, and I was, but I didn't think about it in terms of running for office like he had for many years. And that, I think, is very much a woman's thing. You know, women aren't necessarily groomed to run for political office or to even serve in a commission or board. I think we're rarely asked, and if we are asked, we're rarely mentored. And so that was, while running for office wasn't foreign because that was something I saw my father do all the time, it wasn't something that I thought that was an option for me. If there was a woman who came to me and was considering a career in politics, I would tell her, go for it. I would be all ears. I want to listen. You know, what are your reasons to run for office? Are they compelling? What do you know about running for office? Do you need some help figuring out how that happens? And, you know, what are the pieces to putting that campaign together? I can talk about that, you know, at length, and I certainly do that on a regular basis with women who approach me interested in running for a political office. So yeah, I would be very encouraging. I think that's something that women don't get all the time. They might think about it, they may not always verbalize it. Once they do verbalize it, I'm all over it. This is a very important time in our country. We have some interesting politics occurring, particularly in DC, that is affecting us, you know, all the way here in California in a number of different ways. And it really all started throughout the election, the presidential election. The rhetoric about demeaning women and treating women in a way that was not respectful and kind of putting us, quote unquote, in our place. And, you know, now is really the call to action, I think, for women and people of color. We can no longer sit back and think that somebody else is going to make the change that is the change we want. We have to step up and make that change. My mother is my number one. And when I say I go back and forth, I think, you know, I don't go back and forth on her. My mom was born in a life of privilege, but she, interestingly enough, chose a career where she worked with people who were not from privilege. She was a substitute school teacher and then became a teacher, a full-time teacher at the adult school in Fairfield. She taught English as a second language to immigrants to our beloved country who spoke myriad of languages. It wasn't just Spanish, or it wasn't just Tagalog. It was, you know, people were from Vietnam. They were all over the world because of Travis Air Force Base is really why that happened. And you know, she made it her life's work to work with those who were less fortunate. So in honor of Women's History Month, here we are in the month of March 2017, I renew my commitment, and that is to encourage women to run for office, to get involved politically. It is so much more important today than it's ever been in our entire history. Let's grab our sisterhood. Let's embrace each other. Let's help each other do the work that we need to do, and that is to run for office, to become members of our state legislature, so that not only are we representing those in our communities who are underrepresented, but we are representing women who are compassionate, who are going to be very thoughtful about the policy that we put forward that we will have to live with for decades. And we need to do it. It's in our best interest. Because if we don't do it here at the state level, we're never going to get to the federal level. And that is really the goal. We need to put not only women in our state legislature, but in our federal legislature and in the White House. That's the ultimate goal, and we cannot fall short.